Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport. So, I wanted to do a video last few days. Clyde and I are out here just walking in the nature preserve. Nice day, a little overcast, but still it's nice. This whole Iran-Israel war that all these prepping channels are talking about and news media outlets and so on and so on. I find it to be similar, very similar to the Ukraine/Russian conflict. And the reason why I say that is, Sunday when we went to church, we had breakfast with my brother Stevie K and his girlfriend Roz, and I told them, I said, this is going to escalate a lot larger than people are either assuming or predicting. And the reason why I say that is when Russia was first, a couple years ago, when they were on Ukraine's border doing all the military drills and spending billions of dollars, well, I don't know about billions, but hundreds of millions of dollars. And I had said that Russia's going to go into Ukraine, and they're not just on the border chest thumping to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to chest thump. They're doing it because they're getting ready, and then they went into Ukraine, and not like, oh, good job, Kurt, blah blah blah. It just all makes sense when you really look at things in perspective. And the thing being is how I did a video, I don't know, a couple of years, maybe a year and a half ago, right when it first started, the Russian and Ukraine thing. And I said, if Russia really wanted to go in to Ukraine, and I was in a combat unit, and if you are going to war with somebody, you're going to go in and you are going to knock out their power structure, you're going to knock out their water structure, you're going to knock out all their power, and you're just going to basically just start lobbing mortars and tossing bombs in to cities and power plants and water plants and everything else. But Russia didn't do that. And I'm not on either side of Russia or Ukraine. What's up, Bubba? It's just when Russia was pretty much just kind of going at them with kids' gloves, taking a lot of casualties, losing old military hardware. And now, and the media was like, oh, Ukraine is winning, Russia is defeated, Russia's tired, Russia's unprepared, Russia's slow, Russia's this, Russia's that. And the media outlets were all saying, oh yeah, Ukraine is doing this, and they pretty much have the upper hand. And now the situation is Russia's calling for an unconditional surrender. And then they started really taking out major infrastructure, power plants and water plants and the dams. And I mean, just really went full-fledged hard on them. And now look at the tables have turned. And I think that's exactly what I think. I mean, well, yeah, I guess I would think. But my opinion is that's exactly what's going to happen with this Iran-Israel thing. All these channels are talking about, oh, it's biblical, this and that. We don't know the date nor the time when it's going to happen. Oh, this is biblical, this is end times and everything else. I think what's happening is Iran, when they just took all them drones and some ballistic missiles and were shot down by the Iron Dome, the IDF forces in Israel, all these media outlets were saying, oh, it's a one and done. Israel or Iran had to retaliate because Israel took out like 7 or 8 of their officers on an embassy or at an embassy. And that's basically like you're actually attacking their home turf. So they're saying that I guess one top general was killed, and like 7 or 8 other higher ranking officers were killed in that. And I believe that Well, so I'll back up. So the news outlets and all these prepping channels are like, Iran's, they have to retaliate, or they're gonna, be deemed weak, or whatever the case is, or scared, whatever, and they had to respond. So that's why they responded so weakly, and or the Iron Dome system is just that great. So there are different levels to the IDF and the Iron Dome system. If you guys aren't aware of it, you guys should definitely check out the different tiers that they have for their air defense system. But if you look at it, the mainstream media and all these prepping channels are talking about how, Iran, they didn't make that big of an impact, and this and that, and how Israel's going to be, bringing a world of hurt now onto Iran because they just had a unanimous decision in their war cabinet where they are going to go after Iran. My thoughts are this is going to be exactly like, or similar, or almost exactly like the Russian-Ukraine thing, how the news outlets were saying that, Ukraine's got the upper hand, Russia's losing, but then now, like I said, it's unconditional surrender. I think that's what's going to happen. I would not underestimate Iran, and I'm impartial to both Israel and Iran. But if you have, Israel and the U.S. have coordinated attacks by assassinating nuclear scientists in Iran, taking out their nuclear research stuff, whatever the case is. And so Iran, they've kind of been pushed into a corner. And again, I'm not defending Iran. It just, if you're pushed into a corner so much, you can't just not come out fighting. So I think what they did was they threw out the little bit of drones, and I don't know about a little bit. It's like 300 and some rockets or something like that. I don't quote me on that, but so I think they just threw that out there because they told the U.S. do not intervene in this thing, and I think they wanted to see what kind of support Israel had, and now they already know, like, okay, well, we know that we're going to go after the U.S., but I think what's going to happen is it's going to start off like the Ukraine-Russia thing, where the news outlets and all these prepping channels are going to say, oh, Israel has the upper hand, Iran is this and that, and now Russia has, they already have a defense pact with Iran, as does China, I believe. They're basically saying, we got your back, whatever the case is. So I personally think that this is going to escalate a lot bigger than it is. And two, you're going to hear the mainstream media basically talking about how great Israel is doing. And eventually I think Iran is going to get the upper hand, and then it's going to be a completely different story. That's my prediction. I truly still do believe that we're not going to have an election this year. And I also believe that there's going to be an aircraft carrier sunk, an old aircraft carrier. Those are my predictions. And I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think that I am. And the reason why there won't be an election is just like, back during the 2020 election, I told a lot of family and friends, Trump will not be reelected because they just can't have it. And I think what's going to happen is they are going to either, one, they won't have an election because we're going to be so knee deep into war stuff that they say, well, we can't have an election because of that. Or two, Trump will be elected, and they're going to just push everything on him, the failing economy, everything else. But I don't think Trump's that stupid. Now, again, I'm not saying he's the cure-all. I don't like Trump, but I did vote for him. I think he's very egotistical. I think he's a psyop, and I think that this is all scripted to believe. I know it sounds crazy, but it's scripted. So I'm just saying, don't underestimate Iran. I think it's going to work out exactly how this Ukraine-Russia thing did, and in the U.S., being that we supported and backed, and the NATO and our allies and NATO backed Ukraine, and Russia still is now calling for unconditional surrender from Ukraine. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here with Israel. Iran is going to look feeble and weak and unprepared and slow. Israel's going to be the victor and all this other stuff. And then you're going to see where the tables are going to turn, and the U.S. and its allies and NATO are going to look like punks again. They're going to look like suckers. And Iran is going to get the upper hand. I hope I'm wrong. I truly do. But that's pretty much what I want to do a video on. Just don't underestimate Iran. Don't. And like I said, I'm not supporting Iran and I'm not supporting Israel. I'm neutral. I'm just looking at the things that are happening, and I just be aware. Don't underestimate Iran. Clyde, what's up? Please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.